Good people of the world, RevMeoTV, RevMeoTV. Young people, stay out of trouble, stay out of jail. If you ever been to prison, if you ever been to jail, please don't go back. If you never been, please don't go. Today, man, RevMeoTV, we're going to take a few moments, man, a few minutes and just highlight Coach Prime Deion Sanders, man, for what he is doing up in Boulder, Colorado with that university, with those kids, with those young men. Coach Prime came in preaching these 5 things: smart, tough, fast, discipline with character, right? He's been preaching those things, man. And we're going to take a look today at other schools and programs across the country, from Oregon to Georgia to Auburn to all kind of other different schools. And we're going to look at how some of these other schools are having issues with discipline, issues with character. Their players are continuing to go to jail and get arrested and violate team rules. Nobody from the University of Colorado that I was able to find since Coach Prime has been there, 2023 and 24, 23 and 24, nobody from the Colorado Buffaloes football team has been arrested, man. Man, I got to take my hat off to Coach Prime. And prior to him going to Colorado, the previous 5 years before Coach Prime got there, they had at least about 15 Colorado Buffaloes that had gotten arrested. So let's dive into this thing, all right?
A guy that's gonna make the right decisions on the field, off the field, is not gonna do nothing stupid, not gonna do nothing weary, not gonna do nothing selfish, not gonna be inconsistent, smart, fast, not just football fast, but I need you to learn that playbook fast. When you're hurt, get your butt in the training room, because I need you to heal fast. I need you to comprehend, to see it, read, and react fast. So I need that stuff fast and discipline. You can do anything you want, baby. If you don't have no discipline in your life is gonna be pure hell. If you don't have no discipline and consistency in your life is not gonna go far. A guy that's tough. I'm old school. I coach old school. I don't say, oh, little Johnny, it's gonna be all right. No, Johnny, it ain't gonna be all right if you don't get your butt to this ball. Like that, I'm just old school. I don't pacify kids. I don't pacify them whatsoever. And I'm very structured. In practice, we're gonna wear black socks. We're gonna look the same. Your game should make you individual, not what you wear. So you're not gonna see nobody in Jackson with one pant leg up and one down like they Flojo and all that stupidity and all that self-absorbentness. Well, Coach Prime, you did that. No, I didn't. If you really study my game, I did not. I need character. So your kid could be whoever. He could be that dude. But if he don't have no character, I don't want him.
Man, Coach Prime said something right there, man. Character. He don't want players that don't have good character, man. If you don't have good character, Coach Prime don't want you. Let's take a look at this player from the University of Oregon that was arrested for a deadly hit and run in 2024. Let's take a look.
For an alleged hit and run that killed a 46-year-old man. 19-year-old Dalen Austin was arraigned in Lane County Court today for that hit and run. Our Connor McCarthy was the only Portland reporter in the courtroom and joins us now live from the University of Oregon campus with more on this story. Connor?
Well, Nora, here in Eugene, the community and the student body are shocked by this hit and run. 19-year-old Dalen Amir Austin was arraigned in Lane County Court with his lawyer by his side, composed as he did not enter a plea for that felony hit and run charge. Now, neighbors that I spoke with who live near the scene say that there are still many unanswered questions, like if this victim was one of their neighbors. A deadly hit and run in Eugene Monday night that put a sophomore University of Oregon football player behind bars.
State of Oregon versus Dalen Amir Austin, 24 CR 19.
19-year-old Dalen Amir Austin was arrested and charged with felony hit and run of an injured person. He was arraigned Wednesday afternoon via video call from the Lane County Jail.
It's just something you don't think it's going to happen in front of your house.
Eugene police say they were called to Seth Lockard's neighborhood near the corner of West 4th Avenue and Polk Street around 9 p.m. Monday. Officers found the body of a 46-year-old man. Lockard took this video of the scene as police investigated.
All these police cars and police tape and stuff, and it was just really sad.
Now let's look at this. University of Auburn, Antonio Kite, who was dismissed for behavioral issues, not showing up for practice and meetings and things of that nature. Um, kind of might kind of put you in the mind of maybe Carmoni McClain, who left the University of Colorado, but the young man did have some behavioral issues, man. Hopefully, all these young men will get it together and make better choices and better decisions with their life, man, and just realize the opportunities that they have before them.
Let's roll on right now. Let's jump in. Tomcat on the tube, a good buddy of mine, asks, now that it's public, if Antonio Kite is dismissed, and maybe not only him, do you think that was part of the locker room issues we had heard about? So obviously the news came out yesterday. Antonio Kite was dismissed from the team. Very vague as far as the reasons as to why he was dismissed. I think some said that he was not showing up to meetings or practices or whatever. I don't really want to speculate on it, on exactly the reason. But the question is, do I think that was part of the issues in the locker room? And I think that goes back to Hugh saying, I'm no longer going to be Mr. Nice Guy, essentially. I've got to coach the only way I know how to coach. And if that hurts some feelings, it just kind of is what it is. If kids want to leave for the portal, I can't coach with that fear anymore. It's just got to be.
So, University of Auburn, player dismissed. Young men, you got to make better decisions. At University of Georgia, Daniel Harris arrested for reckless driving. Man, it just don't stop. Young men, please understand the opportunities that you have before you and make better choices, better decisions.
Tonight, another UGA football player under arrest accused of driving at extreme speeds in Athens. Sophomore cornerback Daniel Harris was taken into custody by Athens Clark County Police just before midnight last night. According to the police report, he passed two cars in the rain going 106 miles per hour.
This arrest took place around like September of 2024.
Reported on more than a dozen driving-related arrests involving UGA players since January of 2023. That's when offensive lineman Devin Willock and UGA staff member Chandler LaCroix were both killed in a crash. Police.
Actually, man, at least 25 people from the Georgia football program has been arrested or either cited for driving violations since that fatal crash in January of 2023. So young men, please make better choices, better decisions. Let's look at okay.
And that is players are getting arrested. So far, was this past Sunday, we found out that
This is University of Clemson, y'all. Dabo Swinney, come on now. What you got going on up there, man? Everybody like to talk about Colorado this and Colorado that, man. But Colorado don't have no players going to jail, getting arrested and stuff like that.
a player for Clemson football was arrested. Caden Story was arrested on Sunday with a misdemeanor charge of possession of marijuana. According to Pickens County Public Records, he had less than an ounce of marijuana. So it wasn't a huge thing, but he was arrested for these drug charges. Caden's arrest marks the third arrest this year in 2024 by an active Clemson football player. Early on this year, DeMonte Capehart, a defensive tackle, had a felony charge with weapons and trafficking charges, or felon charge right there. That was dismissed later on because he entered some programs. Noble Johnson got into a very high-speed wreck, caused very serious injuries to three other people, had a misdemeanor charge of reckless driving. Those three players, active Clemson players, have been arrested this year, 2024.
So listen, man, that's three players from the Clemson football team. And these are, you know what I mean, are some kind of some serious charges. You know what I'm saying? The drug charge on the one player might have been a misdemeanor, but it's still a drug charge. Then you got weapons charges, man. And one of the guys had serious weapons charges. He took the people on, like, it's, man, listen, man. Some of these programs got to tighten up. Let's take a look at the next one. So this one right here is this occurred in September of 2024. Texas A&M guard T.J. Shanahan suspended after being arrested. The Aggies red shirt freshman offensive lineman T.J. Shanahan was arrested on charges for minor possession of alcohol and failure to identify. So let's take a listen.
Breaking news. Texas A&M freshman offensive lineman T.J. Shanahan was arrested on September 7th on a charge of minor in possession of alcohol and failing to identify, meaning he gave officers a false name.
It's another case, man. It's another case. Coach Prime is teaching character, discipline. He said he don't even want you, man, if you got character issues, And I'm pretty sure that he deals with players that got character issues and stuff like that. But however he's dealing with it, obviously it's working. His system is working, man. So let's take a look at the next one. Okay, this one right here involves Ole Miss football player Xavier Harris. He was arrested on domestic violence and obstruction charges on August the 18th, according to the Lafayette County Detention Center docket. So here's another young man that's been arrested, that's potentially throwing away a great opportunity. So young men, please, 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 I pray that all of y'all will be able to recover from these mistakes. It says no other details has been released by law enforcement as of Monday afternoon. That was back in August. Harris, he's 20 years old at the time, a defensive lineman. He's in his junior year at Ole Miss, and he's majoring in general business. So let's take a look at the next one. Some of these gonna kind of surprise y'all a little bit, man. Let's take a look at the next one. Okay, according to Yahoo Sports, Kansas Jayhawk football player Joe Kraus is accused of issuing a bomb threat, and he's no longer with the university. This occurred in 2023. Joe Kraus, a former, now he's a former football player because he was dismissed from the team. A Kansas football player accused of issuing a bomb threat to the team's complex is no longer with the team or the university. So this is just a case, man, of somebody, that's not only, derailing their football career, but man, this is a serious charge, man. And this right here could, hurt this young man, for years to come. You don't want this type of thing on your record, man. But again, I just say I got to take my hat off to Coach Prime, who's doing a wonderful job, and just not seeing his student athletes, his football players in the news for negative behavior, man. Just got to take my hat off to him, man. So far, so good. And you're going to trip out on some of these, man. There's some more. Okay, this one right here involves a Vanderbilt football player that was sentenced to 15 years in prison, man, for sexual assault, man. And just listen.
Did you know Vandenberg?
No, sir.
You didn't know him before this night?
I knew of him, but I didn't know what his character was like.
How did he know that I can go find some defenseless young woman that's completely unconscious, bring her back to the dorm, and expect to get with some guys, strip her down, and violate her? How did he know that was going to be acceptable and okay?
I don't know where he learned that from.
He was right. How did he know that?
I don't know. Like he ran with a different group of people than I ran with. I don't know what they do, but man, my group of friends, that was not what we did.
Well, apparently it is what you did. That's what you did that night. We know, based on video evidence, within 2 minutes, you're taking her clothes off and violating her. How did...
Man, and again, man, here's just another case of a football player got all these opportunities before you, man, and you make these decisions that impact and change the rest of your life. You know what I'm saying? So listen, man, young people, man, all you student athletes across America, please pay attention to this type of stuff, man. You know, uh, bad choice, man, terrible decision. And y'all stay with me because we got a few more, man. Let's go to the next one. A LSU football player, Javian Toviano, man, he secretly records somebody while he's having sex with them. They call it video voyeurism, and you can't do that, man. You cannot get these young women into your room somewhere, and you set up a camera somewhere, and you have sex with them, and you recording them naked and in sex acts. That's illegal, okay?
And an LSU football player was arrested and charged with video voyeurism. According to arrest documents for the East Baton Rouge Sheriff's Office, 19-year-old cornerback Javian Toviano recorded himself having sex with another person without their consent. The victim reported she found 2 videos of her and Toviano engaging in sexual activity on Toviano's iPad. The victim later learned the videos were recorded through a hidden camera placed inside a clock that was located on a dresser in the bedroom. The victim reportedly tried to discuss with Toviano and he refused, but according to deputies during an interview with Toviano, he admitted to using the hidden camera. Toviano was arrested and later released from jail on a $10,000 bond.
Oh man, I will say that this young man, Javian Toviano, has since been reinstated to the LSU football team, and it's my prayer that that this was just a bad choice, a bad decision that he made, a mistake that he can put behind him, man, and take full advantage of the opportunities that he have in front of him. And hey, young men, please, man, understand that that is illegal. And I got a few more for you, man. Stay with me, man, because, man, boy, some of these things are crazy. Let's go to the next one. Here's a case of both Iowa and Iowa State football players being involved in a gambling investigation.
The Hawkeyes and Cyclones are looking down the depth charts tonight. Both teams may have to replace some athletes, who authorities say bet on games they played in. Good evening, I'm Elias Johnson.
I'm Aaron Kiernan. Thanks for being with us. Instead of illegal gambling, the players are all charged with tampering with records. They're accused of using another person's identity in order to place bets.
They will likely also face consequences from the NCAA. Prosecutors charging 4 people connected to the University of Iowa today. Jack Johnson is the only current Hawkeye among them. Arlen Bruce and Reggie Bracey already transferred away from the team, and Owen O'Brien is a graduate assistant. Meanwhile, 4 Cyclone players are also charged here. Isaiah Lee, Jarrell Brock, Jacob Remsburg, all current Cyclone players. And important ones, too. The players are just the latest charge in an investigation we've been talking about lately, but it dates back to May. We're just learning more about it now. It seems like every day, as WHO 13's Mark Freund joins us with more on the allegations associated with these charges. Mark.
Yeah, that's right, Elias. These charges are coming from Johnson and Story counties, respectively. As you said, not with gambling, but with tampering with records and falsifying account registration information so they could place bets illegally while underage. The name that stands out on Iowa's side is former Ankeny star Arlen Bruce. He played a lot at Iowa. Bruce is alleged to have bet on 12 Hawkeye football games, 11 that he played in 2021 and 20.
Man, that's a major violation, man. You betting on games already, you underage, but you betting on games that you're actually playing in, that you're actually participating in. Man, come on, man. Pete Rose was banned from Major League Baseball for life for similar acts.
19 wagers total on Hawkeye football. Bruce transferred to Oklahoma State after last season. Reggie Bracey, a former defensive back for the Hawkeyes, is alleged to have bet on 2 Iowa games that he played in. Both Bracey and Bruce used an account registered to Vincent Bruce to place these bets. Bracey transferred to Troy this offseason. Wide receiver Jack Johnson allegedly placed over 480 bets totaling more than $2,500, 380 of those bets while underage, using the help of his mother, Jill. Johnson placed 4 bets on 2 Iowa football games. He was a member of the team, but did not play. Johnson did play his high school ball at Valley. He is still an Iowa Hawkeye. And graduate assistant Owen O'Brien allegedly placed over 350 bets on an account controlled by his mother, Audra. He bet 3 times on Iowa football games last year.
Man, these folk even got their own mama involved, tied up in this stuff.
When he was a student assistant. That brings the total number of Iowa athletes and staffers named in the DCI's probe to 7. Iowa State now has 8 athletes named in criminal complaints, with 4 more coming to light today. One of those.
Man, let's take a look at this next one, man. It's going to kind of trip you out, man. Let's take a look at this next one.
A developing story for you now. Boise State Broncos cornerback Jalen Clark was booked into the Ada County Jail earlier this evening, accused of committing 4 violent crimes.
Now, this is Boise State, and this individual, this football player, is accused of committing 4 violent crimes. 4 violent crimes.
Back in July.
The 21-year-old Clark was arrested after a domestic battery investigation and is now charged with attempted strangulation, aggravated assault, battery, and false imprisonment. On December 17th, Boise police say they responded to the sheriff's office for a domestic battery report. On July 28th of last year, police say Clark got violent with a woman and tried to strangle her after they got into a verbal fight at a home.
And that's what that report was about. BPD says the woman tried to leave, but Clark stopped her, grabbed a knife, and chased her. After Clark left, authorities say the victim was able to leave. The domestic battery report was made the day after the Boise State football team played in the LA Bowl against UCLA. At last check, Clark was still in the Ada County Jail tonight. Boise State Athletics sent sports director Jay Test a statement tonight saying, quote, Boise State is aware of the situation and Jalen Clark has been suspended indefinitely from all team activities as we.
Now here's another young man with in a perfect situation, man. Man, you throwing away your life with these terrible choices, these terrible decisions, man. You're throwing away your life, man. They're giving you an education. You know what I mean? I'm sure you got NFL aspirations and dreams, man. Now let's look at this next one.
NFL star Rashee Rice turned himself into police. He is charged in that multi-vehicle crash that left several people hurt.
Yeah, Fox 4's Paige Ellenberger live this morning in DeSoto, where he bonded out of jail. Paige.
Now this one right here involves an SMU football player, and apparently he must have been racing along with a now Kansas City Chief football player, Rashee Rice. And so the SMU football player, he's tied up in it as well, and it involves a crash.
Hey, you guys, good morning. Yesterday, Rashee Rice turned himself into the Glen Heights Police Department. He was then brought here to the DeSoto jail and then released after posting a $40,000 bond. Now, this is just one day after he was charged with aggravated assault, collision involving serious bodily injury, and 6 counts of collision involving injury for his role in a major crash. Photos from TMZ Sports show the aftermath. Rice was driving a Lamborghini SUV on North Central Expressway in Dallas on March 30th when he and a Corvette caused a chain reaction crash, injuring multiple people. Dallas Police Chief Eddie Garcia released a statement saying in part, quote, "This case was conducted as all cases are conducted, thorough and fair, as that is what all victims deserve." George Milner is a lawyer not involved in this case. He says the Dallas Police Department used this incident to send a message to the public.
The fact that they filed 8 felony warrants is unusual. And that, to me, as a lawyer with 3 decades doing this, that sends a message. I would interpret that as DPD is going to take a hardline stance on this.
Police say the second driver involved is Theodore Knox. He's a football player at SMU, though the university says it's since suspended him from the team. Knox.
So this young man has been suspended from the team. You talking about racing, man. Come on, man. Come on, young men. Make better choices, make better decisions, man. Hey, man, this RevMeoTV, Coach Prime, got to take my hat off to you. You're doing a wonderful job up there in Colorado, and your young men, obviously, that character, that discipline, you're doing a great job with it. Take my hat off to you. RevMeoTV.